Hi everyone. This is going to be the next step in making your wire exercise forms. I'm going to show you how to make a cube. I hope at this point that the sphere making has gotten a little bit better and you're ready to take the next step. So I've just pulled off a length of wire. You begin a lot in the same way that you do with the sphere. The first thing that I'm going to do is create a little fish hook, right? And rather than leaving the wire to kind of go in a circular fashion, you are going to straighten it out. And that can take a little bit of just kind of pulling and straightening with your fingers. You can use the pliers to encourage it to be a straight line as well. So I'm going to just pick a random length for one of the sides of my cube, and then I'm going to, again, with my thumb and the pliers, put a bend in the wire. And I'm going to bend kind of beyond 90 degrees and then pull it back so that I get a nice sharp corner. And it's even a little bit too sharp, so we'll use the pliers to straighten that out. And then from here, I'm going to shut one eye so that I can figure out how long the next leg of my initial square is going to be. So, here's the corner. My left thumbnail is marking that length. Hopefully you can see that this would be too short, this would be too long, and this seems about right. So holding that place, I'm then going to bend the wire again and then pull back. And figuring out this next length should be a little bit easier because it's now parallel to this bottom one. So where my right thumbnail is, I'm kind of marking where I'd like to make the next bend. Pass it off to the other hand. Bend, pull back. And then I'm going to throw that little fish hook over the side. So this is where you need to be careful because you're going to make your first join. You want to make sure that it's as square as possible. This is more kind of trapezoidal. This is trapezoidal in the other way. And this is a bit more square, although I can see I'm off a little bit, but that's okay. I'll show you, again, like with the spheres, you might take a couple of practice runs with this. So I'm going to pull that fishtail through, and you want to make sure that you don't pull beyond the little fish hook. In fact, because this seems slanted downward slightly, I might even try to give myself a little bit more slack. I'm just flattening the wire here. If I extend the crook of that little fish hook, I think that gets me a little bit more square. So one of the tricky things is just not pulling beyond your initial little fish hook, because then suddenly you shorten one side. Okay, so there's my first join, and before I move on, I'm just going to go back through and get a little bit more square. And now I'm going to start to make it more three-dimensional. So from here, I'm going to bend, make another right angle. And then once again, I'm going to visually measure my next length of wire. So my left thumbnail is marking the end of that length. Too short, too long. That feels more correct. So here again, I want to make another mark in the wire, a little fish hook of sorts, a little bump, so that I know where to join. So this is 2 trapezoidal. We want 90-degree, as close as we can get to it, corners. And here I would just clip this end. And cinch that down. This wire's pretty soft. So now I have what looks like a little tent, right? Or an open book. And the way you have a couple of options as to how you would complete this. My instinct would be to make another one that could fit and make the other side of the cube, and then you're just taking other wire to bind those corners. Okay, so I will stop the video here and show you that part in a second video.